Oh, I hit the record button, son of a... I'm sitting here humming the soundtrack challenge menu theme in my head, and I suddenly hear the thing start recording on me, and I was like, I just like about dropped the controller. So we're back with the more human than human championship, because only one of the top 7 drivers is a standard human being. And 2 of the top 10, really. Because Carbon isn't really known. That is sort of a human. He was at one point. And then Vert is the other human. And the only non-human below that is XT3, the robot. Obviously. And so we will start today with Magion. Magion. It's kind of one of those things. It's whenever it's vowel, consonant, vowel pattern. It's always just kind of a just kind of a random guess and figure out, is this how it is said or is it not? I want to say it's Magion, just because it's kind of like magic. I don't have in this camera. Well. So I'm on pole. As if that matters, but you know. Might not be bad here. Unfortunately, I have very stiff competition behind me. In the form of Alex, Danny, Burn, and Bubbles. Most likely. Yeah, Bubbles is going to be a part of it. She outruns number 1 pretty easily. Out of a turn, or even in general. But 1 is fighting back. Too much power for that, though. Number 1, seriously, they're called the Powerpuff Girls for a reason. At least one reason, more than one, really, but. Alex clears Danny. Big news for him. Burn and Bubbles are back going at it, and our points leader has not had the greatest starting grid excursion. This is going to basically kill her championship if she doesn't gain some positions soon here, and around this track, that's easier said than done. I almost have something of a slight advantage here in some ways. I have handling, so in the slow speed turns, I am actually minutely faster than the likes of Burn or Alex would be. I don't worry, Blossom. Every genius has his or her, dumb days. Cripes, Alex. Now, Burn is clear, Danny. Bubbles might just do the same. Kind of getting a little muscle there. Not quite done yet. No, I think it is. Yeah, it is now. No, it isn't. I really don't know how Danny even kept it remotely alongside through that section, but she's gone anyway now, so it doesn't matter. Buttercup is on that curb like crazy, and she will now get into 7th, chasing Vert and the top 5. So Alex has more speed than me, but Burn has more speed than Alex, so... No domino effect? Domino effect. Well, almost. Burn almost punted him into me, and that would have been disastrous. Maybe not so much for Burn, but definitely for me. And most likely for Alex, but then again it is also Alex, so... Buttercup definitely forced that issue there. Finally, I've been passed by someone. I knew it was too good to be true. You've had some interesting winners at this track, but I don't have the top speed to keep up with these two Italian beasts. She has passed a couple of cars, that and Shadow, but yeah, she needs 3 more in this single lap to score a 1 point, and I don't think so. So assuming that Burn cannot pass Alex in this lap, she'll go from ahead by 2 to down by 10. And the gap between him and the other girls will even be bigger than that, so... I want to say Bubbles might be tied with Blossom if she passes me, which I think she will. So well, in a group sense, they're not at all far away from him collectively, but the best course of action would be for one girl to start doing excessively well, and there's no way that can be guaranteed because of the way the starting grids work. Later, gee whiz. Against speedometers, the McLarens alone have like a 20-mile-an-hour advantage over my car down that straightaway. Burn cannot complete the pass, it would look like, and so Alex will go on to take another win. It's taken nearly half of the championship, but it looks as though number 1 is also finally going to score a point. Taking you long enough. Alex has even passed Buttercup with his result, and Buttercup didn't do terrible. She gained like 4 places and made her way to 5th. Another lap, and she probably would have had me as well. I about whizzed myself because I saw the corner of my eye and I got like cross-eyed, and I saw Nordschleife Endurance Cup, and I looked at Maggie out of the corner of my eye and saw 5 laps, and I kind of meshed it together, and I was like, whoa. Well, this track has provided one heck of a race last act, with Act 19, with the nuttiest cars we've driven. Capable of well above 200 if tuned properly. Now we have some even shakier, although slower cars. Let's see if can produce the same results, or if we have a conga line. I'm gonna go ahead and say there will at least be a little bit of controversy going on. Who will cause it? Probably Burn. Maybe even XT3. Burn's the safe thought. I'm thinking someone's gonna come out of nowhere with some aggression. Could be Carbon, runs into one of the backfield cars, or misses a braking point after being passed. The girls have been completely clean. They're results oriented, to say the least. Of course, you know. They're superheroes. They're kind of conditioned to only harm those who deserve it, not anyone else. Trying to explain something to somebody over Facebook. Oof. Well, that isn't going to help your odds much, Burn. You start last, and your main championship rivals start 1st and 5th. And arguably Alex is also kind of buying his way in, too, with his very helpful and fortunate starting grid locations, such as this one. Blossom, I guarantee, just looks to get out of here, as his alone is the safest place to be at this track, as the last act proved in very large concentrations. Burns already gained 4 places on that, number 1, myself, and Danny. Now gains a 5th on Shadow the Hedgehog. And does convert the 6th on Captain Falcon into the cutoff route. But of course, the passes get harder as you move up the field, and now we're getting towards the Nordschleife itself. And in that area, passes become harder still. Bubbles looks to join her sister. Buttercup also, of course, but has a significantly greater number of obstacles in the way of that. This is not really the sight Byrne enjoys in front of him. The one robot that is here, and also the one that he most despises, because it just proves in his mind that robots are an unfair factor on the racetrack, because they don't have to drive for several months or even years to gain experience. They just do a couple of runs of the track, download the information, and voila, now everything is perfect. But Vern never understands is the human aspect is what makes it interesting. Kind of an analogy for racing game AI, almost. X3 may make very few mistakes, but he's only programmed to act a certain way, or a certain few ways to things. Therefore, if a situation calls for a different reaction, different action taken, X3 doesn't have the capacity to do that. Byrne, or anyone else here for that matter, would. Byrne is being very brave here. And they both kind of just miss. X3 goes all the way around, but I believe that may be the only one with problems. Now, number one has hit the wall. There is the stricken XT3. Minus a big checkup from the back half of the field, everyone else has gotten through mostly unhurt. Of course, Blossom didn't mess it up. She's on her own. Alex is fine. Sonic is fine. Carbon's fine. I assume Bubbles is also fine. I think Byrne and X3 and apparently number one, I don't know if that couldn't even have been from that corner because he had the damage and he wasn't in the turn yet, so. Yeah, those are the only two that had problems with that corner because they're the only two who went in at the same time as another one. Though that has still moved Byrne up a position because XT3 got it much, much, much worse. He is going to carry on and perhaps possibly still salvage 13th or 14th position. Especially if things go even more wrong than that for someone else. Nothing is happening in this kind of upper midfield pack. No room to really give around here. Blossom is just out of here. She's at the next race already, I think. Bubbles had a little peek on Vert, but that you didn't really do anything there. I don't think even the Blue Falcon itself could have made a pass work out of that turn. And of course, Shadow and I are in the same category of vehicles, and therefore should be on basically even ground. Sonic is doing rather well to be sitting in 4th place in this car. And Ford GT40 is not the most stable of automobiles, given that it is going on almost 55 years old. Since this model particular was from 1966. It's 25 years older than Sonic himself. Oh, this is gonna end in tears. Especially considering it is Bubbles. She actually wisely lets off, and Vert will regain the advantage. For now. Bubbles in her, this new age of 14 kind of learned that, learned in general. She's gotten a little smarter since she was a kindergartner. And is definitely determined that, smart enough to determine, rather, that she's better off waiting for a long straight or Vert to make an error. We got plenty of time here. We'll be here for almost 15 minutes. You can wait a couple of them to try and make the best moment, or pick the best moment. Speaking of the best moment, here's Buttercup on Alex out of that corner. Alex's car actually looks like it's been scratched a little. Alex does not appreciate this. He's defending the championship position that he does have. Car is scratched, but the damage thing doesn't pop up when I select him, so therefore it's nothing severe. Carbon also driving pretty well. I don't even know what even happened to Alex. Where did he go wrong? He started in... Oh, he does have the damage. It just doesn't pop up. It's not big damage, though. I guess that would kind of explain what happened. He might have been slightly bumped in the, like the right-hander after the jump. Maybe run a little off the road and saved it, but he still lost, at least 2 or 3 places from that. He should be, like, in 3rd, probably chasing down Blossom and Bubbles right now. Because I think he'd already be around Vert if he were up there. So Buttercup has encountered a setback. Byrne actually didn't ever get around her, though. Despite the glorious window of opportunity that he received from Alex doing that. Sonic is once again on the back bumper of this group up here between Bubbles and Vert. Alex is right on Carbon, but Bubbles has actually made an error. She must have gone for a bold move on Sonic, or Vert. Or it could have been a move from Sonic that forced her off her desired line. Let's see actually what it was. This replay's here for a reason. Yeah, Vert broke too early. Or wasn't thinking that he would break at all, I guess. Most cars do there. Here I gave you credit for being smarter than you once were. I see that was a mistake. It seems as though Byrne also had more issues. No, wait, he's just right behind Buttercup. He didn't show him on the map, so I thought or didn't show him behind them on the map. He was on the map, but he wasn't, like, with them. I thought he'd crashed. And Buttercup got that crazy run out of the, on the outside without using the, carousel, as it's called. It's actually a drainage pipe, or drainage, like, storm drain ramp, and a long time ago in, like, the 60s, some guy decided that, you know, I'm gonna use this drainage route to put my car on. Because this is always a great idea. I'm getting curious where he got that engine damage from, though, because I saw his engine was a little bit yellow. He must have, delayed a shift. I thought it was with these hills, too. He might have, been in high revs for a decent length of time. Doesn't seem like that's the case, though. And now here comes the part where Bubbles' car can finally gain back the ground. She's been stuck behind Bert this entire lap. Clears Sonic with ease. Blossom hitting almost 190 under the passenger bridge there. However, unfortunately for Bubbles, Bert's top speed is actually greater than even I had originally thought it was. So she's actually gonna probably have to do it somewhere else. I thought for sure Carbon was about to absolutely thrash her. Now Bubbles has an opportunity. She can take this now. And she basically needs to take this now. I don't think she wants or can even afford to sit behind Bert for another lap. Broke too much though. I'm just gonna pull an Alex. Get some grass on your tires. That would make the claim of, you know, Vert very good at getting incredible results with less than incredible vehicles, but GTR isn't exactly anything to sneeze at, even here. She can get a good run out of the next two corners. Maybe she can yoink it in the kind of chicane. It's not the full-on chicane that we're used to. But if she can't get it there, then I don't think she will at all. No. You gotta do it here, or you're gonna not do it at all. Buttercup versus Sonic. This is a very snarky affair here. Burn, despite his immense damage, showing that none of it matters, and he's now right on Alex. Carbon directly in tow with that. Captain Falcon a bit on his own, and it's me versus Shadow for the final point. And Blossom with a 15-second sum lead. Unless something goes horribly wrong for her up this hill. Which I don't think it will. It has no reason to. She's on her own. And indeed. I think that basically secures the win for her. She has so much of a gap, she could probably even have a small problem, and as long as she doesn't terminally or critically damage her vehicle, probably still get back up ahead. Bubbles just right there, but it takes a hell of a lot of courage to even try something around here. Case in point, she was lucky to even keep the car under control from that idea. Case in point, guys, you got 7 more rounds to go. Even if you can't get the points now, you can get them back later. Burns stuck in 7th, trying to get 6th, and taxing his own car just for that. These guys aren't even relevant in your championship. I don't know why they're stressing so hard about getting the place. If anything, I think Bubbles might be guilty of driving angry here. Sitting behind one guy for 12-13 minutes now. She's done, and I imagine it's starting to get on her nerves by now. Oh yeah, she's going for moves that no one would ever try, unless the driver made a mistake before it. Vert doesn't make mistakes. Vert doesn't do that. You do. Burn could not make the pass. He'll try again. Alex gives an entire acre of space for him. Probably wise. He probably knows Burn well enough to know that if he messes up, it's gonna be Alex that gets probably just as much of it, if not more, of a problem than Burn does from it. Oh, Sonic actually made an error. I'm surprised Buttercup didn't take that. That was basically an invitation, just basically saying, here, have my 4th place. Because Sonic left a giant gap. And the Buttercup could have put herself into, and then Sonic would have had no place to go, and Buttercup might have even had the pass. Bubbles still, of course, not able to pass Vert. That didn't work before. We're gonna have the same exact results. You're gonna go in the grass, you're gonna back off, and Vert's gonna get back away. And you're never gonna get this position. Because the difference in car and difference in driving style makes it basically an impossibility. Now, the same cannot be said for Sonic versus Buttercup, because unless Buttercup crashes, she will get him down the back straight. Buttercup or Bubbles may very well not be able to get Vert. Unless Vert somehow makes an error in his defensive driving. And of course, too, let's not forget Alex and Burn are also pressurizing all 4 of these drivers. As you can kind of see, it's almost starting to get to him. Sonic, another awkward racing line. Another big opportunity for Buttercup that you just chose not to take. And we do indeed have the world's most intense conga line, but a conga line nonetheless. It's a conga line where people don't actually want to dance. That's what this is. Again, Sonic a little bit windy and ripply up there. That's a reference for you. Buttercup needs to take these, and she just, surprisingly enough, isn't. Burn needs to not repeat the last lap. If he damages his engine again, it might be very critical. And especially if he does that. He tries to cover off oh wait, no, Carbon's not even there. Sonic with another shaky line. Sonic, I think, is trying to, over time, recreate the downfall of his franchise. He must be in about 2003 right now. Bubbles goes way off the course. And that, again, allows Sonic past. And Buttercup, it's literally been the same exact lap as the first one for Bubbles. The exact same outcome for everything. The exact same key events happen. The only difference is that this time XC3 didn't spin out. Again, Bubbles then immediately passes Sonic. This time Buttercup should also follow suit. Burn versus Alex should be interesting here. Burn's car does have more speed. But 1, is this really long enough? 2, is his engine good enough shape to catch Alex? And 3, can he then outdrive him? And outdriving Alex is a feat. Blossom has done her job expertly. However, it's everyone else that seems to be tripping over their own shoelaces. Nothing really doing. We all finished kind of in a... What are you doing? Why did Vert pit? His car wasn't damaged, so it wasn't that. I think I might know what it actually was, but it doesn't make the decision any less stupid. Vert pit exclusively to refuel. He was probably out of gas, but A, I probably thought you didn't have enough fuel to complete another lap around the circuit, unlike everyone else who has a lot of very filled gas tanks, and so Vert just... Dude, you earned the hell out of that, and then you just refuel it away. You fuel. A very foolish decision. A foolish warrior. Okay, well, I guess congratulations, Powerpuff Girls, on your gifted top 3 lockout. What? That didn't make any sense at all. Why did you do that? Well, I mean, fuel. Yes, that's the game reason why. That's the in-game reason. But also the boring reason, because that makes sense on the game standards, or the game logic standards. Also, why did I do this? But Blossom now has the points lead by 1, Bubbles 6 back from that, and Alex another 11 away. Buttercup is falling apart when she had the points lead at one point. I guess it's not her time for number 3. Well, and the other thought, like for like a canonical reason. I'm kind of talking on my behind here. Maybe Vert despises Burn, and he just gave Bubbles and Buttercup and Alex those extra points. He thought maybe he'd cross the line in front of Burn, because the line was before where he goes into the pits. And like before his pit stall was. He just kind of didn't because it's Burn, and he was right on top of Alex. Maybe he was just being hateful and he wanted to give Bubbles and Buttercup the extra points on him, but didn't really work in context, because I can totally see Vert being the one who doesn't like... Well, Burn really isn't liked by many people other than... Well, I mean, I think we've kind of established he respects the girls. I don't think they really respect him back. Or if they respect him, they don't like him. Anyway, with the mass confusion out of the way, let's head on to Imola. Or basically, the track where the outside is death. If you put yourself in the outside lane for the second chicane, you're going to be in a lot of pain. This coconut gun. It's like the Hot Wheels version of the DK rap. Let's see what our starting grid is. Oh, Alex isn't going to enjoy this. Shadow with the pole. Buttercup in second. Burn down to fifth, and the other two girls ninth and 10th. So they have a little bit of ground to make up. Especially Blossom, she wants to stay ahead of Burn in the points. Buttercup isn't really as pressed to do so. Yeah, here, too wide is okay. But here, that might be screwed unless he really turns pretty well. Well, that doesn't help his odds any. And Blossom is just kind of rubbing against me, like she's a cat or something. Danny passive-aggressively blocks. And I was, not really getting very far on that first lap. Only one that's made big moves. Bubbles gained 3 places already, and Burns gained 2. The supernatural remains in front of him. Yeah, not very long though. Burn, where are you going? The Shadow runs into him. Or no, he did run into him. It's been a lack of judgment from Burn, I guess. Clearly. Well, this is not how you win championships, Blossom. How did you do this? Or did Danny do this? You know, she's well clear of Danny. She just overcooked it, like, a lot. Like, oh my god, a lot. And she does wait for the rest of the opponents to go by, but she is going to continue, but for what? Not really anything worth at that point. Shadow and Sonic cross paths for a brief second. But again, of course, not for very long. Sonic's car with considerably more power. Swift maneuver around that. Well, next three he's done shockingly well. He's gained 3 places in a lap. Granted, one of them being from Blossom, who while continuing with the race, is 14 seconds behind number 1, and I'll be shocked if you can make that up in time. And even still, that basically leaves this championship mostly in Bubbles' hands. Actually, it'll be about even with both of them, because 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, possibly back to 8. Yep, 8. 8! Alright, so 8 points. Now, Bubbles will pass Blossom by 1, and then it'll be another 10. Yes, 10 to catch Burn. It's not over, far from it. Also, Burn could have a race like this too. He's had plenty of those. Is just barely faster than Buttercup, but not by nearly enough to win. And also, Bubbles will probably, most likely gain 2 additional points on Sonic right here. Or in the near future at the very least. I don't think she should have too many problems. The handling deficit is massive between these two cars, so just don't do it here. Yes, wait, you were proving you still have some traces of intelligence in there. In your dumb blonde head. What happened to Vert? Oh God, Alex! Who the heck incited that wrath? He was trying to clear me. Just did what Blossom did, but instead of overcooking it into the sand, he just went right through Ver. Zero cares given at all. That was brutal, especially for Alex standards. Here she goes. Here we go! Wrong character. We have Sonic, not Mario. Bubbles not even close to making it stick, though. I guess she chooses to wait. Which, I mean, is probably smart. And Shadow is still looming on the horizon. He's not out of this. He's just mostly out of it because he doesn't really have the top speed that these two cars possess. And Sonic just plants himself directly in the middle of the road. So while Bubbles definitely has more speed, she can't use it because Sonic is just obnoxiously in the middle of the track. What is a racing line? He's not even running on it, he's just kind of wherever the heck he feels like. Right. look away, I'm looking at Messenger, and I know Bubble just passed Sonic. Because, of course, the moment I look away is when Bubble just, like, enters, like, Speed Racer mode or something. How did she even do it? Oh, like that. Oh, it would be way more climactic than that, and you just, like, stormed right around him. So yeah, it will finally be now 10 points lead. So it'll be 8 to burn instead of 10. Blossom has in fact caught number 1 and Falcon and myself. With a bit of luck, and if she really races her butt off, she could still maybe salvage a point, but I highly doubt it. She passed number 1. Good, you got the easy one. No, I don't think she'll get a point from this. There's nothing really massively interesting here, so really I think Blossom's just the one to keep the camera on, because she's the one who has passes to make. Falcon, myself. XC3 is a bit up the road though, and you can see she wants it too much. And she's back in the sand for the 3rd time. We're at a racetrack, not a beach, woman. Where do you think you are? And notice this episode has basically just evolved into me smack-talking the Powerpuff Girls because they keep screwing up. No, I swear it's not intentional bias. They're just the ones that keep making all the dumb mistakes. Oh, gee whiz. I don't know how you'd pass cleanly into that turn though, so really I don't really know what to even say about it. So Buttercup definitively wins. Actually, not really, just wins by 4 seconds. Hedgehogs with great finishes. Carbon gains some points. And Blossom did get Falcon at the end, or in the end, but couldn't get any further. Another lap or 2, and she might have maybe had me. She was much too far from XT3. XT3 actually had a pretty rapid lap time. I don't want replay. Oh no, that was Blossom. I was looking at the 157. Yeah, the top 4 and Blossom are the only ones who ran a quicker lap than 2 minutes long. So mathematically, everyone's still in it, but logically, I think it's just down to the top 5 alone. I don't think Sonic has any chance. His car doesn't have the performance. If he had a better car, I think most of his results have come from the starting gear position, and the fact that the GT40 has a very good amount of power to almost rival even Alex and Burns cars. So now we've had every driver's score, and next will be probably the most boring race. The GP circuit in Nürburgring hasn't always been a thrilling affair. And the 2 Monza courses in a row. And those are usually good, but they also have that like 1 in 10 chance that they will be the most boring thing you've seen in your life. It all depends on the starting grid, really. But that's really what this comes down to, is the starting grid chronicles.